I feel dead inside. As a wrestling fan, I feel like a part of me has been ripped out of my soul, and I don't know if I can get it back. The pay-per-view I just saw tonight, WWE Battleground, SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, was so astonishingly terrible that, like, I feel like I love the art form a little less after watching tonight's show. It was so terrible. I said Fastlane earlier this year was really bad. I feel like I owe that show an apology. This show was awful. It was just awful, almost irredeemably awful. The only good thing I have to say about the show, well, two good things. The opening tag match was very good. I thought New Day and the Usos went out there and just had this really nice, action-packed tag team match. They didn't have a whole hell of a lot to work with, so they just went out there and did the best they could. And I thought they had a hell of a match. I thought Xavier Woods had probably his best performance ever in his entire career. I just thought it was an excellent match. And, there was a title change, so it felt like a bigger than usual match because of it. And it was like, okay, cool. Like, that was cool. Got the show off to a great start. It was the opener. I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong. And I had planned on doing a preview video for Battleground earlier in the week, but I took one look at that card and was like, I don't care enough to do a fucking preview of this pay-per-view. That card looks terrible. But, that opening match was so good, I thought, okay, maybe it won't be, maybe this show won't be a complete disaster. The only other positive on the show was Breezango cosplaying as Mulder and Scully from the X-Files. That's about it. And just the visual of them dressed up as Mulder and Scully was funny. The skit itself was not funny, but the show was terrible. Like, it was really bad. Like, really, really bad. Going over the rest of the show, you had Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Kind of a nothing match. Probably the worst match I've ever seen Nakamura have. It was just bland, boring, and whatever. That was my reaction to that match. So from there we go to the five-way women's match. Fairly typical of that type of match. I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect it to be. Wasn't horrible, wasn't great, wasn't memorable. It was just there. It was just there to set up Natalya as the top contender. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. On a better card, I would have accepted that as filler. On this show, it was just another, like, empty void. That's like, God, I didn't get anything out of that either. Fuck. Next up, I believe, was AJ versus Owens, which was far beneath what you expect out of those two. I thought the match was okay, but you look at those two and you expect them to have a great match. I thought their last pay-per-view match was really good. This one, not so much. I think part of the problem is that I feel like I've seen them work each other a bunch of times with, like, tag team main events and various other things in the last pay-per-view match they had, and it's just something that we're going to see probably 12 more times that I think it's maybe already overexposed. I don't know. The finish was also poorly designed, I thought, and really confusing in how it looked. I mean, if it looked weird on camera, I can't imagine what it looked like in the arena. They must have been like, what the hell? But anyway, so that match was disappointing. I thought that was going to be the potential best match on the show, and it wasn't even close. So from there we got I think the next one was the John Cena-Rusev flag match. Which... Oh my god. Oh, that match. I'll say this. Cena and Rusev picked up right where they left off. The last match they had, I believe, was the I Quit match. And that match, if you remember my review of that show way back when, that match drained, the essence of my soul as well. It just went on so long and was so labored that I was like, please, dear God. I'm sitting there the whole time doing, please, dear God, please end this. Please end this. And those are the worst matches to me. The ones where I'm just sitting there just going like, oh my God, why is this still going? Why is this still going? When Roman Reigns and Undertaker at WrestleMania turned into a finisher fest, I'm like, Jesus Christ, just end this. I'm so done with this match, please. Um, and, the last Cena-Rusev match had that feel to it, and this match had that feel to it. It just went on forever. And ever, and ever, and ever. It was the worst game of Capture the Flag I've ever seen in my life. And, the rule structure the way it was, and I'll be honest, I was only half paying attention. I don't know if they explained the rules that you had to go up the ramp and put the flag in the stand. They may have explained that. I don't know. I just missed it. There's a real good chance I missed it. But when Rusev grabbed the flag first, I thought he won. I was like, oh, thank God that match is over. I was like, wait, what? There's more? What? There's more? No, this match is still going. No! And that whole sequence with Cena and Rusev outside the ring, just, again, playing the worst game of Capture the Flag ever. It was so boring and so terrible. And there were several points where I felt like, Rusev, just throw the flag into the crowd, or hide it under the ring, or do something. And then Rusev took all that time to set up tables to put Cena through them. I'm like, I feel like he could have... He's pulling a Dick Dastardly here, because I feel like he could have won this fucking thing, 18 times by now. It's just... It was terrible, and this is Cena's big return match on pay-per-view, and it's the most horrible thing. Okay, I'm just gonna say it now, and it's gonna be a dick thing to say. If you're not gonna turn Cena heel, please retire. Just please go away. Please, I'm done with this. I am so done with this. It's been 15 years. Well, okay, he's been a top guy for 12 years. So let's say 12 years of this pig slop, of him overcoming the odds and standing up for America and being that cartoon character, goody two-shoes, Boy Scout douchebag that has been on top forever. I am so bored with this character. I am bored with his matches. I am just bored. I am fucking done with it. I don't care. And I never liked John Cena, the character, as a main eventer. I never did. That's not a reflection of the talent, per se. It's a reflection of how the WWE presents him and how they push him and all that other junk. He's a part-timer now, to which is like, oh great, I don't have to watch him every single pay-per-view now, but please end it. Just go away. Please go away. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Go away. Go do whatever the fuck it is you do with Nikki Bella and call it a day. I'm so just done with this. I am fucking done with this goddamn horse crap that gets fed to us with the John Cena character over and over and over again. I'm so sick of these boring matches. I am so sick of the whole song and dance, the whole routine, the shtick, all of it. I am just fucking bored. And it's not even a case of, oh, Rusev gets buried again. There's a promising young talent that gets buried. It's like, yeah, at one time Rusev was a promising young talent, but they've already fucked him over 10 ways till Sunday. He's already been through the John Cena meat grinder, so this is just gratuitous at this point. It's just, I just don't fucking care anymore. And I haven't cared for a long time, to be perfectly honest. It's just, please let it stop. Just please let it stop. So we got that match that went on for about 11 billion hours. And then we got Mike Kanellis, formerly Mike Bennett, versus Sami Zayn. I made fun of the Shining Stars for their gimmick and how them selling timeshares is probably the lamest, way to get heat I think I've ever seen. Cut from that same cloth, now we have Mike and Maria, whose whole method of getting heat, or their whole character and the whole reason we're supposed to hate them, is that they're in love, and that's annoying. And I know, yeah, in real life, there are those couples that are so, like the Seinfeld bit, you're schmoopy, no, you're schmoopy. And, okay, yeah, it's annoying, but that's all it is. It's mildly annoying. That is not an interesting villain. That is not an interesting character. That is just something that is mildly annoying. I mean, I can't invest in that. What? Okay, if anything, like, Sami Zayn is kind of a dick for being annoyed by and, like, expressing how annoyed he is that, oh, you idiots are in love with each other. God. Fuck. Sami Zayn, another guy they've ruined. Yeah, what was it I said a few years ago when he was in NXT? Sami Zayn's one of the best baby faces in the business right now. Yeah. Didn't I say that same thing about Bayley when she was in NXT? God, it's amazing how that happens. It's just, they just turn everybody into shit when they get to the main show. And their match was pure throwaway filler. It was a nothing match. Sami Zayn won, so splits the wins with Mike Bennett or Mike Kanellis or whatever, and it's like, hey, everything evens out. Hooray, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. So that was that. And then we get to the main event, the Punjabi prison match between Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal for the WWE title. This match is fucking stupid. Aesthetically, that cage looks awful. I sat there watching the match and I was like, can the crowd even see what's going on? Because with the two structure setup, it's like, that looks like it would be very hard for the crowd to see what the hell is going on. And, yeah, the match was boring. The match was overly long. It was horrible. It was stupid. The gimmick is stupid. I hope to God, there's a reason why you only did 2 of these. Why you did more than 1. I can understand 1 as like an experiment, but why you didn't stop at 1, I don't know. But anyway, the 4-door setup is fucking lame and stupid and makes it look like a kid's like game show. I made the joke that it like the rule structure makes it feel like a 90s Nickelodeon game show. Like something I would see on Double Dare or Legends of the Hidden Temple or some stupid shit like that. Well, yeah, I take that back. Legends of the Hidden Temple was great. Double Dare was great. But you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to see a wrestling match that feels like a fucking game show. Or it feels like... It's just so overly complicated and stupid and horrible and way too boring and way too long. And it was just... Oh my god. It was just... Oh, it was so bad. It was so fucking bad. And once again, with the Orton Jinder Mahal series of matches, the only highlight was the Singh brothers taking bumps for Orton, and that's it. Like, that's really the only thing of note. And of course, Randy was, thankfully this time he wasn't extremely unsafe with them like he was the other 2 times. This time it at least looked like they were protected on the fall, you know, that they took and everything. But, you know, that big table, I mean, I'm sure that table bump wasn't fun, but it's like, you know, Orton didn't, like, dangle him upside down or any stupid shit like that. But, yeah, and, oh, we got the return of the Great Khali. Huzzah. I'm super stoked for that. It was like, God, if I wasn't interested in SmackDown before, fucking Great Khali's back. I'm totally sold now. God damn it. Just God damn it. This show was so terrible. And it went past 11 o'clock, so it went, like, super long as well. This show was so terrible. It was so... just, oh god, it was a really, really bad show, almost from top to bottom. Like I said, the only 2 highlights were the tag title match and just the sight of seeing Breezango's cosplaying as Mulder and Scully. Other than that, fuck this pay-per-view. If this isn't the worst pay-per-view of 2017, then God help us all. Like, I can't imagine one worse than this. Unless it's like a Legends of Wrestling or whatever that fucking pay-per-view was, or we get like Jeff Hardy pilled out of his mind in the main event or something like to that level of bad. I just don't see how this pay-per-view can be topped as the worst pay-per-view of the year. And this show was so terrible, and I've been so disenfranchised with both Raw and SmackDown, quite honestly. Because, you know, I haven't had a chance to do a video on this, but the whole Kurt Angle reveal. Jason Jordan is his son, his illegitimate son, and has now been moved to the main Raw roster. I don't think the idea itself is that terrible. Like, on paper, if they'd just done it, I'd probably be okay with it. It was the fact that they spent 2 months building it up, and then you see it, and it's like, that's it? All that build-up for that? Okay, I mean, best thing to come out of it so far is, God bless the internet, the My Black Son Family Guy video mashups that they've done with the footage. Really fucking funny. And it was like, oh god, you took that like Family Guy bit and made it even funnier. Good on ya. Good on ya. But other than that, I mean, what was the point? Like, what was like? And I talked about this with a friend of mine, and I think he's right. I think it started with Vince McMahon getting the idea in his head and just laughing his ass off. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if Kurt Angle had a black son? Like, I can just picture Vince there in the meeting, just going like, ha, 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 and then get this, he's got a black son. And that's how you get angles like that, in my mind. I'm going to take a bet and say that that's probably what happened, and why Jason Jordan is now Kurt Angle's illegitimate black son. And whatever they do with that, I don't know. And like I said, the idea itself is not the worst thing ever, but it's just the fact that they spent 2 months building it up for that. Something as weak as that. It's like, okay. And also, we lose American Alpha, one of the best teams in the last few years. We lose them. I mean, it's not like they were doing anything with them anyway on the main roster, but I mean, they had that program with the Usos, which they kind of dropped, and then it's like, all right, now we don't know what to do with them. Bye. And it's like, anyway, so that happened on Raw. We got this pay-per-view from SmackDown, which was just a gigantic old fuck you. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with the main roster, at least for now. I can't justify investing that amount of time into Raw and SmackDown and their 8,000 pay-per-views a year. I can't. I can't justify it. I'm not canceling my subscription to the network because I want to follow NXT, because NXT is actually good, and I want to watch what's good. And that's what I'm going to do. I want to watch what's good. I don't want to waste my time on something I know I'm probably going to hate. I want to go back and watch old shit. I want to go back and watch old pay-per-views, and I have that whole library at my disposal. It's like, fuck that. I would have much rather sat down and watched fucking, like, WrestleMania 7 again. WrestleMania 7, for those of you who don't know, WrestleMania 7 was my favorite WrestleMania when I was a kid. I would love to go back and watch that one again. I would have much rather watched that than watch this shit. I need to catch up on the G1 Climax. I would much rather watch the G1 Climax than watch Raw or SmackDown. No question. Lucha Underground. Would much rather watch that. I enjoy watching that. Gladly. And all Lucha Underground asks of me is an hour a week. I am more than happy to give them that hour every week, because the show's fucking great. There's other wrestling out there. Even GFW. Which is not great, admittedly. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Super X Cup's pretty cool. He's like, oh, look, they got Drago, and they got all these other guys. It's like, that's kind of neat. I like neat. Things that are neat make me happy. They got that. Like, what's going on fucking Raw right now? I guess, like, the prospect of, like, a Braun Strowman-Brock Lesnar match at some point, but even then, it's like, Lesnar's matches, except for the Goldberg Mania match, like, Lesnar hasn't really done it for me in a while. There's just, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything going on right now that's, like, making me, it's like, why am I watching this? Why? Why are you watching it? Why are any of us watching this? There's other wrestling out there that's actually good. Cody Rhodes is the Ring of Honor champion right now. Huzzah! Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? I want to watch that. I'd love to watch Cody Rhodes. Fuck. Yeah. Give me more Cody Rhodes. Give me more G1 Climax with Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. Give me more fucking Lucha Underground and whatever the hell's going on in the Cueto Cup right now. They seem to be doing crazy shit every week with that. Give me more NXT with, like, the Tommaso Ciampa turn, or whatever they're going to do with the next TakeOver special. Fuck, Ember Moon and Ruby Riott had a solid match on the last episode. I was like, okay, that was a perfectly fine Contenders match. And I know whatever they do at TakeOver is probably at least going to be good. Because they have literally not had a bad takeover yet. And part of it is because they only do a handful of them a year, so there's actually some worthwhile anticipation building into each one, and they almost always deliver. And here, it's just the main roster is just a mountain of oversaturation, disappointments, and boredom. I just don't fucking care anymore. And it's like, you know what? I don't have to watch it. So, yeah, I'm not watching Raw. I'm not watching SmackDown. And I'm sure as hell not watching another one of these pay-per-views. SummerSlam's the next one coming up. Unless the card is something spectacular that they put together, I'm not fucking wasting my time with SummerSlam. Is that going to be a 5-hour show too? I don't know. I don't fucking know anymore. I feel like the WWE is trying to beat me into submission, and they finally won. Like, they finally, like, you win, I tap, I'm tapping out, you win, I'm not watching your show anymore. And what really pisses me off about Raw and SmackDown is that I watch things like NXT, which is a WWE product, start to finish. It is entirely a WWE product. And I watch things like the Cruiserweight Classic, which is one of the best things WWE's produced in years. I know you're capable, because I watched that shit. I watched the Cruiserweight Classic, it was great. I wasn't the biggest fan of TJ Perkins winning it, but overall, the whole damn thing was great. NXT, your takeovers are great. The way you booked that show was great. Where's the disconnect? What is going on when everything moves to the main roster? Because the main roster's crap. It's just crap. It's garbage. It's horrible. I feel broken. I'm the new broken Matt Hardy. I'm going to start playing on the piano poorly and playing a violin and making mundane words awesome catchphrases and throwing myself into the lake of reincarnation. WWE, you suck. You suck. Anyway, that's my review of Battleground 2017. Moving on from there, my next couple of videos are lined up. My next Star Wars review, I'm going to try and have that up next week. My next classic match review is also going to be coming up next week, so be on the lookout for that. It will be the final classic match review of this format. I'm toying around with a different idea for the classic match review, so be on the lookout for that. I'm going to drastically change that into something a little bit more interesting, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, yeah, classic match review coming up next week, Star Wars review coming up next week. And hopefully I can get caught up on the G1 Climax soon. I definitely want to watch that shit because I've heard it's great. Of course it's great. It's the G1 Climax. It's always great. But that is all I have for you now. So mercifully, this is over. You've watched me have my meltdown and review the worst pay-per-view 2017. So we're all done here. So I will sign off for tonight. You all have a good week, and I will see you all later.